I'm Mike.
And I'm Adam.
And this is Stuff and Waffle. Two friends talking about stuff, and often as not, waffling with frequent reference to Bond cars.
I think you and I will be very pleased to know that normal service has resumed this week after our appalling showing last week.
Yeah, neither of us did terribly well there, did we?
No cause for celebration.
No,
I know you won by a point,
effort.
but
but I gave you a bonus point.
Oh, you did.
So, yeah, because your answer was so good that, and mine was so poor that I decided to give you an extra point.
Oh, but it's bad, isn't it? It's really.
It was a pathetic effort. Yeah. Yes, there's no excuse.
Yes, we're aligned on that, and I assume most listeners are, judging by the various messages I've received of.
Oh, have you had some feedback? Have you?
Yes, the odd messages cropped up. I've gone knobheads. Yes, thank you.
Yeah,
Cheers for that.
Yeah. I can't argue with that, really.
Yes, and I think the accusations of overthinking are exactly correct.
I overthought my answers for you. I also think I overthought my answers for myself.
I overthought both. So
yeah,
we ended up with answers that neither of us wanted. So that's good. I mean, there's some things in there that I stand by. Those are my answers, but others.
Oh, yeah, granted. Yeah.
Oh, it's dreadful, awful.
Dreadful. I mean, in our defence, we only got the questionnaires the night before. So it's not like we had a lot of time to go at it.
I don't feel like that's an excuse, really.
Don't just go with it. I'm trying to do a thing here.
I'm afraid.
Don't spoil it.
I'm afraid it's awfully transparent, and people might see through it.
Look, I had a perfectly good lie going there, and now you've ruined it.
Okay, see, there's a problem as well. There, you see, if you think that was a perfectly good lie, then it's part of where the problems come in. You see?
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, that was part of the issue.
That was awful as well.
Yeah, so, it was. Yeah.
So, we'll draw a line under that one.
I think we should. Yeah, maybe we don't try that again.
No, there's bound to be some sort of either Christmas or anniversary special again. So we can cover ourselves in glory in that one instead.
Let's go back to Bond. We know what we're talking about with that. It's one of the few subjects we can talk with some authority.
But then again, we don't want to alienate the listener with them hearing us perv on about that and getting minute details correct and picking apart questions because we think the questions are wrong.
Oh, that's true. There was an element of that last time we did a quiz. We didn't even agree with the questions, let alone the answers.
So, all of the problems. I don't know what the next one will be for us, but we'll figure it out. Well, I say I'll defer that.
Someone will. Yeah.
Oh dear, right. Should we drag it back to something vaguely on topic?
Should we? Cars.
Yeah, cars.
That's what it is. Yes, we like cars. That's what we started with.
Yeah, because last week was all about quizzing and silliness. Neither of us really spoke about anything going on in the world of cars, be it with us or...
We didn't touch on any news items, and there have been a few over the last couple of weeks.
There has.
Yes.
Actually, I suppose when we get on to the news, I suppose I should give an update, because everyone needs to know where I'm at.
Please do, yes.
I am still at the mercy of the DVLA at the moment.
I suspected that would be the case. Yes.
All of the bits and bobs that were agreed to be done on the car have been done on the car.
Very good.
We're just waiting for paperwork so it can be very legal.
It's just administration now then.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, government administration. So, yeah.
Yeah. How long's a piece of string, essentially?
Exactly. Yes, you get it when they're ready.
You think they'd want it because they get money for this, but there we go.
No, they don't look at it like that. No.
So I'm afraid it's a very, very small update for me on that, but yeah.
Nothing is happening yet.
No. Like I said, things have happened. Speedo conversion's done, new stereos in, new batteries in, all servicing done, everything bar some UK registration and an MOT.
Okay. Yeah.
They've even had their guy who does the MOT come and look it over and went, "Yep, I don't see an issue when that arrives at the MOT station."
Okay, so it's had a little bit of a pre-inspection.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. And then you can go down and lay hands upon it.
Yes.
Yes.
But yes, I'm afraid nothing of excitement.
That could still be some weeks away.
It could be, but I mean, he is hoping next week we could actually have the unveil, but I don't know. We'll see.
It's impossible to tell, isn't it? Yeah, it happens when it happens. Okay, well, fair enough. Not a surprise, unfortunately.
No. Oh, I tell you what, though, a little hint of update as well. Even though it's not my car anymore, the Volvo's been MOT'd.
Okay.
But the guy is now, it's all road legal. For the moment, he said though he's sawned it for the next month. He said he reckons a month because he's doing all the jobs now. So it's got a clean, well, it's not squeaky clean MOT, but enough, and he's now full focus on gearbox. And he said if the gearbox can be dealt with relatively quickly, he will treat it to the cam belt.
Fair enough. Well, the gearbox is its big issue, isn't it?
That's it. That's why he was gonna do that. So he said it's just a bit of an unknown because he MOT'd it and then drove it for a bit and realised actually this needs doing soon rather than later.
It is knackered. Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Fair enough. Okay, well that's good. I mean, it's great that it's being fixed up. I'm delighted about that.
And it's quite nice as well because when I go to the office, I drive past it every day, so I can see.
Of course you can. Of course you can. Yeah, I didn't realise at first that was where you'd taken it. But that's perfect. Yes, indeed. Very good. Well done.
And the Mini's my daily vehicle at the moment, and
yeah, it would be. Yes, it would be.
Nothing to report. It's still in the current state of. No, well, it's perfectly serviceable. It's not.
It does what it says on the tin.
It's not being a dick. So well done to the Mini.
Well done, indeed. Nothing major to report at this end. Puma obviously back on the road and is being used regularly. It's really kind of loosened up again now that it's started to be used, so that's good. Jag is currently out there on a trickle charger because it keeps flattening its battery, so that's always good. But it goes in to the garage on Monday.
Ooh, of course.
Yes, that's in on Monday for its 150,000 mile service and MOT, plus a couple of other things I've asked them to look at.
We know what 150,000 mile service entails?
Not off the top of my head. I did look it up on the Jaguar website, and it's kind of a bit of everything, really. It's a oil change, gearbox oil. It's filters, pollen filter, some sort of system flush. I can't remember all the bits and bobs now, but it's quite a thorough one.
Oh, that's good.
So I have asked them to price up the timing belt change. I can't verify if it's been done. I don't think it has been when it was supposed to be. For the until the last two services, it was being done by Jaguar main dealers. Now, I don't have itemized bills for them, but I'm confident that they would have done it. However, the last time it was due, it was serviced by an independent, and it was done then, and I have an itemized invoice for that service, but there's no mention of the belt on it. And they mentioned everything else, pollen filters and all sorts of things, but not that.
Did the number at the bottom suggest a cam belt might have been done?
No.
Okay, there you
It
go.
was about 300 quid. So I
Probably not.
suspect not.
Yeah.
I've had a word with the garage and said, "Can you do it?" They said yes. Well, which engine is? So, well, it's the 3-litre twin turbo V6. They said yes. We've done a few of those in Land Rovers and other Jags, but it's a bit of a job.
Front off, basically, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But if it's not been done on such a high mileage car,
ticking time bomb.
Yeah, I think I'd better.
Yeah.
Even if it's going to be pricey, well, it will be. I'm expecting maybe 500-600 quid for that. We'll see.
Yeah, I suppose.
I don't think it's unrealistic.
Well, it's better than it shitting itself, though, isn't it?
They can't do that on Monday, but if the price is okay and not horrific, I'll book it back in for another time to have that done.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if I do decide to sell it, it's the first question I was going to ask on 150,000 miles. I mean, it was the first question I asked, but I was buying it cheap. I won't feel the need to sell it quite so cheap. So, especially if it's been done.
Oh, so, yeah. That makes a big difference, you see.
Yeah, and all the other little niggles that the car had when I bought it are now fixed. So I think I will have that done. But yes, MOT and service on Monday. So,
well, definite update then next week.
Yes, indeed. I would like an MOT with no advisories. We'll see if I can achieve that.
See how that goes. Yes. Very good, very good. Right then. Should we move on to cars that aren't ours?
Yes, let's do that. Yes.
Right.
There's been a few around.
I suppose the biggest news this week in the world of cars would be what was I say released, publicised on Monday, embargo lifted.
Yes, no, I wouldn't call it a launch exactly, but an unveiling, an official unveiling. We've seen prototypes before.
And we saw a leak probably end of last week, Friday, Saturday, something like that.
We did, but now we've seen the official unveiling, and of course all the YouTubers and press guys have been. So.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
So, and just for clarifying, it's the new Renault 5.
It is the new Renault 5 electric. Yes.
Yeah, and well, on the face of it, they seem to have nailed it.
I think it looks fantastic. I really do.
It's spot on, really, isn't it?
I think it is. It's done with a huge amount of respect for the original. In fact, they had some originals at the unveiling. I think it's instantly recognizable as a Renault 5, but with a modern take. I think it's brilliant. I really do think it's brilliant.
Impressive.
It's good specs. It's 250 miles range from 100 kilowatt hour battery. That's big in a car of that size.
It's some clever packaging, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a big old battery in there. In fact, I'm surprised the range isn't a little bit higher, but I think they're probably optimized for a little bit of performance as well, and not just out and out range, which is, of course, where the Zoe fell down, was that it had superb range, but the performance wasn't fabulous.
No,
which is fair enough. That's what it was made for.
The Zoe, and I tell you what, after being in other electric cars, being in the Zoe, you go, this really doesn't have that nippiness that
it doesn't.
An electric car should have.
We drove, as you may recall, a Zoe around Silverstone, it's competent. It handled. But it ain't no speed machine. But that's not what it was made for. They optimized for superior range.
And
that it had. The Renault 5, I'm hoping they've put a whacking great battery in it to give it still a very respectable competitive range, but still give it a bit of performance as well. And as Johnny Smith mentioned in his review, looking underneath it, he thinks there's room for a second motor And
yes,
there might be an all-wheel drive dual motor version coming.
Yes, he did show some footage of the rear underside and the cutaway car as well.
That's right. And there's a suspicious gap at the back that would be just about the right size for another motor.
Well, it's good forward thinking, because if that happens, that'll sell like hotcakes. Because he suggested maybe if it turns out to be a Renault Sport One, you go, oh yes, please.
Yes. This, I think he was right when he said this could be Renault's Mini Cooper moment. This could be one of the most important cars they've made for a long time.
I think the world is ready for it. Just going, right, well, it's competitively priced, although we've not had the exact UK price.
€22,000 is the only price I've seen. But that makes it very competitive.
The speculation I've seen is somewhere going to start somewhere around the £25,000 mark over here.
That's competitive.
It is, yeah. Don't get me wrong.
Really competitive.
I know, and it's really difficult to get out of that mindset of going a small car. Well, that costs £10,000. No, it doesn't.
I know. My head still says a Ford Focus costs £15,000.
No,
it doesn't.
No.
It should, but it doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, there's this thing I've heard of called inflation, but I'm not convinced it's correct.
It's horrible. But it does seem to be fairly keenly priced.
Sorry, when you said Ford Focus, I had to just go and have a look at what they start from. £28,500.
No, that's wrong.
Sorry, closing that tab now. Renault 5.
No. Oh, I didn't need that news. I was happy in my head that a Focus is about 15.
No, you can have half a Focus for that.
Oh, you get a really nice used one for that. You get an ST for that. But
yeah, Renault 5. Sorry.
Renault 5. Sorry, yes, we digress. I think it's competitively priced. I think that the design is fantastic. They haven't gone crazy with the screens inside. There's still some nice manual buttons.
So I saw that and thought, yes, come on.
Yes, that's what we want. They put the things that work well on a screen on the screen, and they've put the common functions that work best with buttons as buttons. Yes, that's what we want. It's not based on the Zoe platform. This is an entirely new design, which is nice. Entirely French, they're saying.
They're very proud of that.
French. Yeah, everything is not only is everything made in France, all the parts are sourced within 300 kilometers of the factory.
That was a stat I heard, and
that's impressive if it's true.
Unless, of course, they get around that by going, well, there's an airport within 300 miles of the factory. They'll fly it all into there. And then
it arrives on French soil within 300 kilometers. Yes. We will see. But, regardless of that, that's going to sell.
Oh, yes. I mean,
that's going to sell in colossal numbers.
I've seen a lot of people who have already placed orders. There's one person, I won't name them, who has been really not anti-EV, but just not convinced by it. Who's put an order in for one of these?
It's that good.
Yeah. It's not the EV bit that's got him. It's the isn't that cool?
It's so good he doesn't care that it's an EV.
Yep.
That's impressive. That's impressive. Well done, Phil.
The odds of Phil buying a brand new car are slim to nil.
The odds of any of us buying a brand new car are pretty slim, to be fair. But I've been down that rabbit hole. I'm not doing it again.
I couldn't bring myself to do it. I'd burst into tears when I saw that first hint of depreciation.
Hint? It's not a hint, mate.
There might be a hint on one of these.
Yes, that's true, actually. Well, if it has the Mini effect, of course, the Mini originally, because they didn't realise how successful it was going to be, and they didn't ramp the factory up fast enough. There were instances of used ones selling for more than they were brand new, because you could have it now, whereas it was like a 12-month wait for a new one.
Well, haven't Renault said that you can basically pay to get to the front of the queue on these as well?
I believe they have said that yes, speed money can be paid.
Mm-hmm. Well, why not? If you can milk it, go for it.
Oh, and I think, it's a really good package. 5-door only, I note, at least at launch.
Well, I just think that's the way of the world, though, isn't it, with the hatchback
these
days?
I don't have a huge problem with that. I mean, long doors are a pain in car parks.
I don't want to hear this long door nonsense. My new doors will be quite long.
I'd forgotten that.
Yes,
but my reasoning stands. But 5-door only. It does have the hidden rear door handles.
Yeah.
I think it looks tremendous. I really do.
It's one of those ones where I look at it and go, yeah, you know what? I've got a soft spot for the electric Mini, but I would probably lean towards one of these more.
Well, this will be maybe a shade cheaper, or at least the same price as a Mini.
Yeah, and
the Mini's probably its main rival, I would say.
Yeah, I think this is going to edge it.
Honda E isn't really, because it's more expensive and has half the range. So I think that's kind of done now. It's just not competitive enough. Well, I mean, it never was, but it really isn't now.
The trouble is, it was brilliant. I grant you, it's too expensive for what it was.
Mm-hmm.
However, it was just superbly done.
It was a lovely little thing, but it wasn't competitive.
It's just. And now
130 miles range for whatever it was, 33 grand. It's not good enough. It's just not good enough.
But part of me wouldn't care because of the packaging.
Granted, and most of the people who bought them obviously didn't care.
But it's what they've done now. It's more the fact that they've gone, well, yeah, we're not going to make that anymore. We're just going to make a load of electric SUVs and go, oh, come on.
I did note in Johnny Smith's review, he stopped at one point and said, Honda, you could have done this.
Yeah.
I'm not angry. I'm disappointed.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. We're heading into a world where we're going to need an electric Civic and ultimately an electric Civic Type R.
Yes, but it's not. It's not going to be there, is it?
Very silly. Very silly.
Very silly. So its competitors really are the Mini, Fiat 500 electric.
Yeah. Yep. It's not much, really, is there?
There isn't. No, there isn't. Not at that price point.
No. And I think the electric Fiat 500 is quite nice, but there's something about the styling that's just a little bloated. Doesn't sit right.
I wouldn't have one. I think they've run into the same problem they did with the Mini, in that it's got to be a little bit taller and a little bit more bulbous to kind of accommodate the battery pack. Mini dealt with it quite well by kind of hiding it in the trim and the styling, whereas the 500 didn't have that option.
No.
As you say, it's come out, the proportions are slightly wrong.
It's only slightly, but it's enough to make you go, is that right?
I wasn't a big fan of it originally. I've never really been a Fiat guy.
I thought it was absolutely brilliant. I've never really wanted one. I just think it was brilliantly executed, and the sales have proved that.
I can respect it. I just didn't want one.
No, that's fair.
Whereas I might have gone for a Mini.
Oh yeah, definitely. But like you say about the packaging, the 5 is quite. It's not jacked up or anything like that, but it's quite. I don't know, almost aggressive. It is quite
aggressive. It's quite chunky.
But that's the thing. It's got that wider track because you've got those extended arches. It's got
extended arches to try and make the original turbo. Yeah,
that's it. But also rather sneakily go, well, if we've got more track, that means we've got more space in the middle for batteries, and the same with the wheelbase.
Well, I think that's how they've managed to shoehorn a 100 kilowatt hour battery in it. I mean, that is by far the biggest battery in its class, by far.
I think
it, and they've said as well, because the charge port is, unlike the Zoe, isn't on the front, it's on the side. And again, apparently they've done that to keep the clean design on the front. They didn't want to interrupt it with any kind of hatch or
fair enough.
I think they could have hidden it behind the Renault badge, which is enormous. But they haven't. They've put it on the well, for us, it'll be on the passenger side,
which I've got no objection to whatsoever. I think they've just nailed it, and I think we're going to see them everywhere. We're going to look at them and go, I want one of those.
Yeah, it's the 5-door hatch we've been waiting for, I think.
It's what Ford should have done with the Fiesta, you fucking idiots.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Yes,
sorry,
I mean, there's Johnny having a dig at Honda, but Ford could have done this as well, easily.
Yeah, going from having the best-selling hatchback to going, oh yeah, we're not selling that at all now. Well done, dickheads. Well done.
I know. It's just totally illogical, isn't it? Totally illogical. They could have done this. This could have been the new Fiesta ST.
Yeah, no, it's their own fault. Bollocks to them.
Yes. Indeed. I wish Renault all success with that. I think they've done a tremendous job.
I'm still bitter about that because I've never owned a Ford, and right about now,
I mean, I suppose you haven't. No,
not interested. No.
Well, they don't really have anything to offer now, do they?
No, and I'm too full of hatred about it to go, well, I'm not buying any of your old ones either. Bollocks to you.
Oh, you wouldn't even buy a used one.
No. However, I think we can both summarise that we would buy Renault 5s, both of us, wouldn't we? If we were in the market.
I think I would. I think it's that good. Yeah.
I think. Yeah, there's honestly no question. If it was that price point and that versus its competition, not an issue at all.
Yeah, see the extra range and the more practicality would make it win out for me, I think, over the Mini. I mean, I haven't driven one, or nobody has yet.
No.
If it drives as good as it looks, which it really has to, then
I think
it's going to be a winner. I really do.
We're in for a treat. We'll have to revisit it once the reviews are in for that.
We'll have to try and get our bums in one because I think that would be tremendous.
It's different. Yes, I don't know if we got that level of sway yet, but I'm assuming we will have by the time we're allowed to test drive these.
Well, the additional problem we have is that our local Renault dealer is not the slightest bit interested in EVs. So,
mind you, that was a while back. Things might have changed.
When do you ever see an electric Renault around here? You don't. You occasionally see a Zoe.
I've seen a few of the Megans, the E-Techs, I think.
Yeah, a few.
But in general, how many Renaults do you see full stop?
Yeah, it's a good point.
The fact that these are going to, the order books are already filling up. I think if they've not changed yet, they're going to have to do fairly sharpish if they want to sell cars.
Yes, granted.
All right. Well, when it comes to release time, we'll have to go and tell them all about the car they're selling.
Yes, go and explain it to them.
Yes. Oh dear.
Well, last time I was in that Renault dealer was for the launch of the Zoe, and I arrived in my Model S. So, yeah.
Did you announce it? The arrival?
I didn't have to. They saw me.
Oh, okay.
I parked it right outside.
Yelling out, is this where you park the Teslas?
Yes. Yeah, that.
Yeah.
Yes. I feel your pain, Chris. I really do. He did it to me as well.
Yeah. Can't be helped, can it?
No. Anyway,
sorry.
Big thumbs up from us for that one.
Yeah. The Stuff and Waffle seal of approval.
Oh, that will help no end.
Oh yeah.
They'll be delighted with that. They'll have been waiting for that.
Yeah, that'll be it. You can hear them now, can't you? Oh, sacre bleu! It's Stuff and Waffle approval, eh? Yeah, it's very good.
That's nearly as good as my Australian.
Oh no, there go the French listeners. I'm so sorry.
Goodbye, little fellows.
Right.
There's Can I talk about something else?
Probably best. Yeah.
Let's move it on. We've got worlds colliding here, to use a Seinfeld phrase.
Oh.
We've got the world of Bond and our favourite world of cars. Now, I don't know if you've seen this story.
I think I know where this is going, but I won't interject.
You probably have. Our old mate, Mr. Callum, mentioned last week on my list, but not in the place you guessed. However,
oh dear,
idiot. He has got his hands on one of the Jaguar CX-75s from Spectre. And the little tinker, he's been at it, and he's made it road legal. Because, of course, it never was, because it was never a production car.
No, it was always a prototype. But, I mean, the fact, having seen it in the flesh, you look at it and go, it really is finished.
Well, he thought not.
Well, I know there are the legality bits and bits and pieces that he has been tinkering, because I have seen the article. But you just go, how have Jaguar got this? And they've got this in their heritage museum, and you go, this is really, really close to being a proper car.
Yeah.
Why on earth did you get it so close and then go, no, we'll leave that?
Yeah, well, they've got form for this, haven't they?
Electric XJ.
Electric XJ, exactly. By all accounts, finished, ready to go. Nah.
I just don't get it. I know.
I know.
Anyway, let's not derail it. Mr. Callum has made it road legal. He has finished it.
He has finished it. Jaguar didn't, and he has finished it. Yes. There were, I think, 3 of these cars survived the filming.
Well, I heard 4.
Oh, did you hear 4? Maybe my number is incorrect.
Well, maybe mine is. Nobody knows.
Maybe I noted the wrong number. I'm just having a look here, see if I can. Yes, 4. You're quite right. 4.
Okay. Oh,
yes,
good.
I was incorrect. I wrote down 3, but I checked the original article, and it does in fact say 4. So he's done what he does. These things, because of course he designed it originally.
Yes, dirty little bugger. Yes.
So he's he's put catalytic converters on it and mirrors and all the sort of things that it needs to be, all the sort of simple stuff that it would have to have. It's got the 5-litre AJ-V8 supercharged engine, which they've been using for decades now. XJ, XF, XK,
all of that.
All of those have had it. So they've all had a go on it.
Saying nothing.
Indeed. He's had to do some work on the I'm coming back to the XFR later in the show. He's had to do some work on the bodywork to make it kind of stay in place, fixtures and fittings, things like that, because it was just a prototype and then a stunt car. And it will be unveiled at the Bicester Scramble on April 21st.
I know.
Yes. I thought that little detail wouldn't have escaped you.
Some little dickhead's got a ticket.
Oh, no, you didn't waste any time there, did you?
Oh, they've been sold out for ages, but yes. I saw that piece of news crop up. Rob sent it to me, and I was like, oh my goodness me.
Yeah.
Naughty.
There's going to be an incident.
Yeah.
You're going to have to repaint the front of it.
But what a thing. It should have... this is picking up where Jaguar left off. Jaguar had the opportunity to do this and fluffed it.
Yes.
It's one of the most striking cars of its generation.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a Bond car.
Yeah, and it could have been the XJ220 of the 2010s.
It could.
It was good. When everyone saw it, everyone loved it. I mean, the world unknowingly was crying out for a Jaguar supercar, and they missed.
Yep.
Despite the goal being enormous and open.
Oh, Jaguar.
Yes, it's essentially like putting me in front of a football goal and telling me to kick it. The same thing would have happened.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yes.
or indeed my good self.
That's it.
Yeah.
See, it's not often you get a sports ball reference on here.
It really isn't.
No.
It really is. No, we don't do games with balls. Not like that. It's just another disappointment from. I mean, it's not disappointing that Mr. Callum's had a go at it because it's tremendous.
Oh yeah, crack on. Feel free. If you find anything else in Jaguar heritage while you're there and you feel like making it, crack on.
Oh, if you want to have a rummage through there and pick out some more of your old works and have another go on them, that would be tremendous. Yes.
Oh yes. But that is beautiful.
It is. He's got it in the original, whatever colour that is.
Sort of a burnt orange metallic.
Metallic bronze colour. Yeah,
filth.
it is. Yeah, absolutely. So he hasn't actually, I don't think, done that much to it other than the things you have to do to make it legal and bits to make it hold together properly out on the road. That seems to be kind of all he's done. It's not a comprehensive restyling like he did with the recent Vanquish project. Which of course is another Bond car, funnily enough.
Very good.
Yeah. Actually, technically, it's not because he's done a Vanquish S, I think, hasn't he? Whereas the Bond car wasn't an S.
No, it was an original.
However, a minor detail, still a Vanquish.
Yeah.
But I think that's fantastic.
That is, yeah. I just. Well done.
Isn't it?
Well
I'm
done.
I'm slightly jealous you're going to get to see that.
Sorry about that.
Actually, I'm not slightly jealous. Very jealous. You're going to get to see that. I'm expecting lots of superb photographs.
I will. Well, it's me taking the photographs, remember?
Yeah, true. They're going to be a bit shaky, aren't they? Because, you know.
Well, they'll be having a moment because it's glorious, but there's also, if you do recall, when we went to Haynes and I was outside photographing something and then all of a sudden was on my side because I'd leant down to get a really nice angle and then just tipped too far.
You do tend to topple over. Yes. Yeah.
It's not the first time I've done it, and it will not be the last.
No, you suffer for your art.
Apparently so.
Yes.
But
there you go.
There's something that's always consistent. I seem to have developed a phrase. It's normally I've gone, or if I've had a few beers and I'm upturned, it's normally Grandad down. Just to alert anyone nearby to help.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Calamity in progress.
Yes. Yeah, that has been known to happen. But, well, it happened so recent as last year when we were at Silverstone and many beers in, and Rob was with me to chuckle at. I tripped over some guy ropes of other people's tents and
of course you did.
Went flying and made the required announcement.
Grandad down.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Utter dickhead.
Oh yeah, completely.
Right. Well, that's lovely.
It really is.
Unfortunately, he's only made one, so we can't have one each of those. We'll have to share.
But I think we could probably cope with that.
We
work out some sort of rotor system.
Yeah, it's not fitting on either of our driveways, is it?
Oh, I'm taking the front off that, trying to get that in here.
Yeah,
there's no way.
And my issue will be I'd sort of get to a point and I'd just be teetering.
Can't go forwards, can't go backwards.
No. No.
Right. You're going to have to get a fat mate to sit on the boot to let you. Oh, well, you. I'm right there.
So any of us will do.
Yeah, do the job. Don't crease the aluminum.
No, don't do that. No, not at all. No.
You're never getting a replacement panel for that.
No, our ample ballast could do some serious damage.
Oh, you could bend it. Yes.
Oh, dear. I'll tell you what then. Should we sort of segue a little bit on from Jaguar?
Please do.
Because I saw another bit of news and I was like, I've not read up enough about this. However, the Indian owners of Jaguar Land Rover, Tata,
yes,
have suggested that they're going to be building their own new gigafactory.
I have seen this. Yes, that's a phrase that's been stolen from Tesla and widely used by everybody.
Yes. A factory where batteries are made. That's because that's a gigafactory.
That's it. What. Yes, indeed. Yes.
So they're saying, the batteries that are going to be for Tata and JLR cars are going to be made in Bridgewater.
Just up the road.
So, and I think they were projecting a couple of years now, 2026?
2026, creation of up to 4,000 jobs at the factory. Yes. Yes.
Which is, and there's part of me that is very sceptical.
Well, a few people have reportedly looked at that site in Bridgewater, including Elon himself. Had a look at it for a Tesla battery factory.
Yes, I do recall because there was some hoo-ha about it. He actually went there.
He did actually come here. Yes, he did.
Elon Musk goes to Bridgewater.
I know, it's weird, isn't it? It's so strange. But apparently he came here personally to look at it. But nothing ever came of it, probably because our government wouldn't do a deal with him.
Yeah.
I would think. Whereas Tata probably don't need a deal for that. Although they are apparently getting £500 million worth of government funding.
Interesting.
From what I have read. So I don't know. I mean, they've lost the battery factory recently, haven't they? Of course, because the whatever they were called, British Energy, was it?
Yeah, sounds.
That didn't get very far. But is this an indication that the Jaguar's plans to go all electric are still in motion? Because we haven't heard anything for a while. I mean, they sort of re-announced it last year, but we've not heard any more. The Jaguar range is forever decreasing.
That's the thing. It's very carefully worded, this news article. It's a Tata confirms, not JLR.
Not Jaguar or Land Rover.
No.
Tata, yes. Are they making batteries for other people and they're going to sell them? Or are they making batteries for their own products? Yes, there isn't actually any direct mention of Jaguar Land Rover in the press release, other than the fact that Tata obviously own Jaguar Land Rover.
Yeah, because I was reading. Hang on, let me find the one I can't spell. There we go. Okay, no, we might be doing a disservice. I just skimmed the article and did a search on a few keywords, and apparently, while it is Tata who are doing all of it's going in as their name, blah blah blah. The Gigafactory will be one of the largest in Europe and will initially make batteries for JLR vehicles.
Right. Well, then that would suggest there's going to be some more electric JLR vehicles then.
So let me carry on. I stopped there on purpose. JLR vehicles like Range Rover are the Defender.
Ah, well, they're not JLR vehicles, they're LR vehicles.
You spotted that too.
the J doesn't have anything to do with those.
So yeah, pinches of salt here, there, and everywhere.
Yes,
but you never know. You never know. The jury's still out, and we've speculated, and until there's an announcement, all we've got is our disappointment.
Yeah, we'll cling to that, eh?
Yeah. Yes, that's what I was going for. But it's interesting nonetheless. It's nice to have something like that on the doorstep because everyone needs batteries now. It's as simple as that. It's going to be, I know, to get all boring and grown up. It's a wonderful investment in the area and jobs for people, but it is.
Well, it actually, yeah, I mean, that's genuine. It is. Yeah, I mean, it's up to 4,000 jobs. That's significant in anybody's book. Yeah, that's great.
Fair play.
I wouldn't knock it for that, certainly, and I hope that it's whatever they're going to do with it, that it's successful. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, well, it'd be nice because, I mean, let's be honest, the only thing that Bridgewater's famous for is when you drive past it and the wind's blowing the right way, you can whiff the sewage treatment place.
People who live in Bridgewater might dispute that.
I've been to Bridgewater, I'll be honest, but you know what I mean.
Well, so have I. I bought a car there once.
It does have a whiff about it.
Well, yes.
But there you go. It might have someone else going for it now.
It might have somebody. It might have a factory with a leaper on the side. Who knew?
Oh, just a leaper.
I'm not going to say it because you'll descend into giggles if I do.
It's childish. It's not becoming of anyone, is it?
No, but you will.
If they put that on the side and it's viewable from the motorway, I will crash.
No, they don't use it anymore, do they? Because they found that some cultures apparently found it too aggressive and intimidating with the sort of face of the cat. So they only use the leaper now.
Really?
Yeah.
Too aggressive. Oh my God, the world's gone mad.
If you look at a modern Jaguar, you won't find that badge. I nearly said it. That badge anywhere on it.
Oh, for fuck's sake. I'm disappointed.
No, they dropped that. Well, it's still, I tell a lie, it's still on I believe on the front grille, but it's no longer on the boot or the steering wheel. Particularly not on the steering wheel, because in some cultures apparently it was too intimidating. Found to be too aggressive.
Is it?
So they now put a leaper on the steering wheel, even though it's asymmetrical.
Oh, yeah, now you say it. Yeah, that does ring a bell. You go, actually, yeah, there is a leaper on there.
On my car, a little bit earlier, it's still got that badge on the steering wheel, but from the more modern ones, they don't anymore. It's only on the grille where you can't see it from inside the car. There you go.
Well, there you go. There you go. Should we end on that? Be able to say we've made it this far without saying growler.
Ah, there it is.
Well, I think that's probably enough of that for this week. Check us out on all the various social medias and things. Thank you very much for listening.